Right, hi, this is Steve from Retroman Blog, and welcome to my latest edition of Retrosonic Podcast. It's like a little series I've been doing called Lowdown, where I invite some of my music-related pals to come in and tell us what they've been up to, and it's like a little Desert Island Discs, chat about their favourite records, influences, and what they've been up to. And I'm pleased to welcome DJ Jawa Jones. Hi,
Thank
Jawa,
you.
how are you doing?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to and an honor, really, to be included in your wonderful podcast series. So I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
So we first met at Hipsville, that fantastic garage psych weekender down in Margate, our favourite yearly musical event in the Retroman Blog calendar, which has sadly been decimated this year because of obvious reasons, of COVID-19. And one thing I really love about Hipsville and the regular club like Weirdsville is that they do champion a lot of female-fronted bands or all-girl bands and DJs and dancers, and which is what we do at Retrosonic Podcast as well. You know, a lot of the bands that we've seen over the years at Weirdsville and Hipsville, like Ogunquit, the Jackets and the Corettes and the Jack Caves, the Girl Fridays, you know, they're all either all girl or they've got a strong female presence. And when I found out that you were a DJ after we chatted at Hipsville, and I was looking into what you were doing, it's what you specialise in, isn't it? With your Wanita music, you know, it's tell us a little bit more about the concept behind it.
Sure, Steve. Thank you. It came about in early 2018 when I was living in Munich. I was very fortunate to be invited by one of the owners of this really great dive bar around the corner where I lived with my ex. And she's like, you know, I want more women to DJ at this bar. And I was like, great, I'm up for it. And she was like, go on then, you know. And so she gave me a night where I was like, you know, I could do whatever I wanted. And during that time, I was listening to DJ Honey's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang show, where she was playing a lot of female records. And I just got inspired from it. And I was like, well, okay, if she can play these great records, I can do the same too. And that's when I took the leap of, doing my own night. And then I was thinking about the concept, and I was like, well, I know that it's important for me to promote female music, as well as, female DJs, because what I saw during that time, and also many years when I was living in London and going out a lot, was the fact that there was a lot of great DJs in the scene, but most of them, in fact, were men. So I thought, surely there's women who are just as interested in music, you know, and can play really great records and also can run a night. So that's really where the idea came from, and, you know, was brewing in my head. And then I thought of the name Wanita, which means woman in Indonesian, and I'm half Indonesian. So I was like, perfect. And the whole point of Wanita for me was, and it still is, to promote women in music and offer them a platform to, you know, play music that they love. And what we offer is quite niche. And then there's a reason for that. I wanted to play female records, female DJs playing female records from the 50s to the late 80s, all on vinyl. And it's to encourage people, as DJs as well as the listeners, to kind of find out more about, there's female DJs out there that are also cool, but also the music from different genres during that time, and get them to dig and also learn. So it's like a win-win situation. We're all kind of learning and, you know, together. Yeah. And so that's how it was born in Munich. And it's been received really well. And I got my female, DJs friends to come along and DJ on the night. And then I moved to London last year in 2019, early 2019. And I carried on the night in London there, and it's been really good, actually. I've received a lot of lovely feedback from various different people.
Is this a regular club night you were doing?
To be honest, I started it late last year, I think October or November, and then I had 2 or 3 nights, and then obviously the pandemic happened this year, and then because of that, I couldn't really run the night anymore. And what happened then because I still wanted to kind of carry on the idea of Wanita, but obviously with the not being able to DJ at a club, the idea of opening up, creating a Mixcloud account, a Wanita Music Mixcloud account basically happened where I could carry on inviting female DJs from across the world to create mixes of their favorite female fronted records. And that's been really great too. A lot of, I've met loads of lovely female DJs from like Sao Paulo to Toronto to Bogota and Colombia, made really lovely female DJ collectives as well. So it's been really great to not only listen to their amazing music, music I've never really listened to, like garage bands from Sao Paulo and some amazing disco tunes from Brazil and also cumbia, and so it's great. It's been really good.
Yeah, I was intrigued by looking at the Mixcloud page at your episodes about how many different countries you've managed to sort of get these contacts and DJs from, and you've given them a platform to air their own music, and it's a really eclectic mix, isn't it? It's well worth checking out.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, even though we're niche because it's only female records, but I wanted to keep the genres open because I think, like you and I, we liked a variety of different types of music. We're not just sort of like 60s garage rock, or it's good to listen. Sometimes I have moments where I'm going to listen to cumbia today, and then the next, tomorrow it could be like post-punk from the 80s. So it's good to have a variety to spice up life.
Yeah, I know, you're right. And another reason why I wanted to sort of invite you in was I was planning my own special episode dedicated to sort of all my favourite all-girl or female-fronted bands, and just as I was working through the playlist, I know you did this fantastic show, which was like about 2 hours plus of like all-girl music, and it was sort of all different genres, but mainly sort of like garage punk and and a lot of great post-punk bands, which sort of seen after punk in sort of the sort of late 70s. It did give rise to a lot of really creative female bands and artists, didn't it? And the show was great, and I thought, I ripped up my playlist. I just sort of went, I thought, I can't better that, And I just thought,
you're very kind.
let's get you in and talk about it. But I think that was a great show, and I think you can still get your catalogue on Mixcloud, can you? All the episodes are available there, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's on my Mixcloud. I've got my own Mixcloud for my, I've got two accounts. I've got the Wanita Music, so it's mixcloud.com. Wanita Music, and I also have my own sort of DJ Java Jones Mixcloud account. So on both you can find the mixes I've made, the shows I've made for Monoloco Mixtape and Soho Radio, which is where you heard the mix I did, which is like post-punk and 70s rock. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's definitely well worth checking out. And of course, I'll put all the links up on Retroman Blog with the corresponding feature that goes along with the podcast. So I recommend people checking out Wanita Music and Monoloco Mixtape on Mixcloud, and obviously your regular Soho Radio show as well. So
yeah, I'm actually been invited to do a show at another station called Barrel House Radio, and it's a new digital radio that will be, I believe, launching at the end of this month, at the end of November. And so I will be doing my an hour show once every couple of weeks. And it will be dedicated to Wanita. So, yeah, I'll give you the link once that's launched.
Great. Well, we look forward to that, and of course, we'll be sure to share it around. And let's go back to the very beginning then. Let's find out what got you started on this musical journey. And so tell us about your earliest musical memory, the first time that you really, a song sort of stuck out, or something that happened that you really went, wow, what's this great? What's this song? Or can you remember that?
I wish I could be cool and say my family, my, dad and mom were like super cool into music, been recording records, all their lives kind of thing. But it wasn't quite the case. Although my dad was, back when he was a teenager in High Wycombe, was really into rock and roll and was a massive fan of, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley. And he used to buy records from America and would like listen to them. And, and then this is before he traveled to sort of Southeast Asia and Europe. So he's always been into music, but he wasn't really collecting the records when he was in Indonesia, in Jakarta. So I was born in Jakarta, and I lived there until I was 18. But my fun, well, I wouldn't call it fun memories, but it's quite a funny memory because my dad's a massive fan of Pink Floyd, massive fan of Pink Floyd. And I just remember being a kid, being woken up in the middle of the night on a school night because he'd come home from work after he's had a few beers, and then he would just blast it super loud, and like this carried on until I was in my early teens before I started going out. And I was just like, Dad, can you just turn it down? Like, I'm trying to go to sleep. And he's like, oh my God, this is the most amazing song. You should have been there. I was like, in Japan when I saw them. And I'm like, all right, Dad, just like turn it down. So it was really funny. I was being quite, and then he would play all sorts of music and super loud, like Santana, Eagles, Queen. So yeah, all of that. But Pink Floyd was on the constant.
And you've picked a couple of tracks here. So you've gone for one track by Pink Floyd, which probably a lot of people in our scene would have thought, oh, great, Syd Barrett and that early era. But you've picked one from sort of 1987, from the album A Momentary Lapse of Reason, which is probably not their coolest of
I know. It's so funny because when I say this to my boyfriend, he's like, really? Oh, really? It's like, that's post-Syd Barrett. Like, why? And I'm like, well, as I spoke to my dad about this before we did this call, and I said, Dad, what was the particular album they kept playing when I was growing up? Okay, why do you like it so much? It's like, well, it's just the lyrics, the Dogs of War, it was like profound for him. It was profound lyrics. So yeah.
And then you've also picked another interesting track from Santana, Black Magic Woman. This is from their second album, Abraxas. And they're a good band. They don't get a lot of good press, really, I think, amongst the sort of the cool indie fraternity. But, I think a lot of people think they're sort of a bit of a prog rock band. But they've always got this fantastic bit of Latin groove about them, haven't they? And they're a good band. And I think you picked a good track here, Black Magic Woman. Is this
a classic?
One of your dad's favourites?
It was also my favourite, actually. Dad just played the entire album on repeat. And my mom got into it as well. And that's the thing with it, a lot of Indonesians, I would hear it everywhere, a lot, during sort of growing up in Jakarta in different bars. They just love that particular album. And I love it too, much more than, I'm afraid to say, the Pink Floyd album that my dad loves. But I wanted to dedicate the Pink Floyd song, Dogs of War, for my dad.
Well, let's have a little medley then. Let's hear Santana and Black Magic Woman. And first of all, let's hear this for your dad, Dogs of War by Pink Floyd.
Dogs of war, a man of hate. With no cause, we don't discriminate. Discovery is to be disowned. Our currency is flesh and bone. And put on sale, gather round and haggle. For hard cash we will lie and deceive. Even masters don't know the webs we weave. One word, it's a battleground. One word, we'll smash it down. Long distance calls, woman, got a black magic woman. I've got a black magic woman, got me so blind I can't see that she's a black magic woman. She's trying to make a devil out of me. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Yes, don't turn your back on me, baby. Stop messing around with your tricks. Don't turn your back on me, baby. You just might pick up my magic sticks.
Yeah, but that's a fun thing about this, isn't it? Because if you, I mean, like doing the blog and everything, you know, that I'm like most music fans are the same. Is that if they're really honest about it, a lot of the early music they liked was not cool at all. You know, I mean, I'd love to say I saw the Sex Pistols at the 100 Club, but I didn't. I was too young. You know, I was watching the Anti-Nowhere League and bands like and the Exploited and bands like that. You know, and the songs you grow up with are often like, I remember pop music, or Oh Laurie by the Alessi Brothers. You know, it's bloody awful. But actually, they're really evocative to me. You know, and that's what I wanted to try and get across. It's interesting to get these sort of memories. You know, because it does
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's really important for me. I try to be honest all the time, and it's, you know, like I can act cool and be like, oh, this is what I think people want to hear. So I'm going to just tell them, like, I've been collecting records for 30 years, but I haven't. I can't, you know. Yeah, I wish I did, because then I'd have an amazing collection of records. But yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject, let's tell me what was the first record you bought with your own money, you know, your own pocket money. What was that?
Oh dear. Carrying on to the bad taste of music. I'm not going to lie. I bought with my pocket money. It was a tape, because, you know, this was sort of 90s, early, like I think, yeah, it was 1990. I was 11, and I remember I bought The Simpsons Sings the Blues.
Okay.
It was, you know, because I loved The Simpsons then. I was, you know, a kid, and I just remember listening to Do the Bartman and Deep Deep Trouble, and I was like, I have to buy this tape. And yeah, that was my first tape, sadly.
Well, I tell you, I was going to play it, you know.
Yeah, don't.
I won't play it, you know.
Yeah, I don't want you to lose listeners from this particular show because you're playing The Simpsons.
Okay, well, I was going to be a bit naughty and play it, but I won't. Yeah, The Simpsons. Let's just think of The Simpsons as a great TV show, you know, not for the music. So, I mean, you mentioned you were born in Jakarta, Indonesia. So, in Jakarta, growing up, were you exposed to? I know, obviously, from your dad, you were listening to sort of Western music, but generally, you know, socially, and that, were you exposed to mainly Western music there, or did you did a lot of indigenous music creep in, or were there any sort of local bands that you liked or local musicians?
Well, interestingly, my mom was never really into music, so I didn't hear anything from her side. It was mainly from my dad and my friends. And I went to an international school. I went to an Indian international school first, and then I went to an British international school. So I was very fortunate in being able to, you know, be exposed to different things through that way. But it was just mainly Western music, because back then, and still a bit now, still now in Indonesia, a lot of people, kind of like Japan with the American culture, a lot of Indonesians look at the West as like the best, you know, they always look at the West as inspiration to be better than them and what they aspire to. So a lot of the music that I listened to growing up was all Western music. And also, this is the 90s, I grew up, MTV was on a lot of the time. So a lot of the music from America and from, mainly from America and some Australian, UK came on screen. So, yeah.
And what sort of things were you listening to over there then? What sort of music were you exposed to growing up?
Gosh, all sorts. But I got into music properly when I was a teenager. And that was when the grunge scene was, quite prevalent in the 90s. Well, my friends got into Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots, but I started listening to L7. I remember the Bricks Are Heavy album came out, and that just blew my mind. And that album still is my favorite album. It was amazing because it was like this punk, well, it's a rock band, but it's like quite a punky feel from what I usually listen to.
Yeah.
And I just loved the lyrics, and that was my first kind of like exposure to feminist, being feminist and like girl power in a sense. Cause I was just like, these girls, these women, they're like badasses. They don't care. They're like singing all sorts of things and I was just like, it really made an impact on my life. On my, sort of the way I sort of see things then when I was 13, 14. Yeah.
So it sort of sparked off your interest again, going on to all girl bands, and it's because they were a pretty great band, weren't they? I mean, visually they were sort of stunning. They were a great live act. They were aggressive. They were. I mean, I saw them play at a couple of times, but I think the most memorable time was at the Reading Festival.
Yes, the famous Reading Festival.
The tampon throwing incident.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like you're going like, what are they doing? What are they doing? It was amazing, and they didn't sort of shirk anything, did they? They were sort of in your face as a band. And they were playing it, and they were just playing this sort of fantastic, aggressive music.
I don't know if you've seen their documentary that came out a few years ago. I can't remember what it's called, but they talk about that Reading gig, and the reason why that happened is because that was a particularly unfortunate incident because they didn't do the sound check properly. And the sound was just really bad, and it was affecting their performance. And they were all really quite stressed. And then the crowd was throwing like mud on stage and like bottles and stuff. So she was like, I think it was Donita Sparks. I can't remember if it was Donita, but one of the members was like, well, fuck this, screw you guys. I'm going to get back to you. And then she just pulled out her, let a tampon out of her and threw it back onto the people. And I think, yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah. I mean, I was there. I just was going that bloody hell. And they were getting a lot of stick from the crowd,
Yeah, that's right.
It was on the day when Nirvana played, and I think it was a lot of rock bands, and sort of grungy bands, and they're fantastic. And I mean, Jennifer Finch, I'm a bass player, and I mean she's a fantastic bass player. I always loved her.
She's amazing. Yeah.
And it's a good album. You're right. It's a great sounding record, isn't it? It's Bricks Are Heavy. It's a really well produced record. And give us a track from the album. Then give us a.
Oh, it was really hard to pick because I love Integrity. I love Shitless, Wargasm, and obviously the famous one, Pretend We're Dead. But I don't know. It's a toss. My two favorites is a toss between Wargasm and Shitless. Shitless is perfect for that teenage angst. You're 13, 14. You're like, I remember I made this mixtape and it was All Men Are Bastards, and it was predominantly like 7 Year Bitch, L7, Bikini Kill, and it was just like, yeah, screw men. This is the time when I was like liking guys, but being like puppy love and not being it's all sorts. But yeah, it was perfect music for like teenage angst.
Yeah, but it's still great. I mean, shit list even now. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I put it on, and it's just fantastic. And I've still got a shit list myself.
We all have our shit list.
So yeah, you never grow out of that. So let's play that one then. Let's play L7 and shit list. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's so great, isn't it? I mean, I'd love to have heard that like I said, like you as a teenager. I'd love to have heard that. I mean, I would have. I mean, I liked them even then, when I was probably in my 30s or whatever. But I mean, I would have really fell for them if I was a teenager. They were just.
Honestly, when I was so I didn't get a chance to see them in Reading because I was in Indonesia when that happened in the 90s. But when I heard that they formed again after being disbanded, I was like, oh my God, I have to see them because I've never seen them before. This is like my favorite band. And I remember, which I've never done this before, because I missed out on the tickets in London. I couldn't buy their tickets. So I thought, I'm just going to, and they were doing 2 shows in New York. And I just went, sod it. I'm just going to, and then I could buy it. It was still available. So I was like, I just bought, they were playing in Manhattan and then they played at Brooklyn. In Williamsburg, and I just literally I bought both tickets and then I bought a flight and I went there to see them, and it was amazing. I can't even explain. It was like to see my favorite band when I was a teenager twice, and 2 shows were 2 different shows. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, some bands are worth traveling for, aren't they? And it always makes it more special, And another band that you've mentioned, which to be honest, slipped me by, is 7 Year Bitch. Tell me about this band, and I mean, all I know is they're from Seattle, but I must admit they passed me by. So tell us a bit about 7 Year Bitch. So
7 Year Bitch was a band I kind of found through. I watched the movie with Drew Barrymore in it, and they had 7 Year Bitch perform in a gig, and I was like, who is this amazing band? It's another band I've never heard of. So I was like, okay, I've got to look it up, do some research. And then this is pre-internet days, but I don't know how I managed to find it. I think I must have gone to the music store and then just found them. But they're, a punk rock band from Seattle, an all-girl band. They were sort of part of the sort of Riot Girl group scene. I have it at 45, actually, in my flat, and with John Peel. It's a 45 with John Peel talking on it. So John Peel obviously liked the 7 Year Bitch, so it's always a good thing if John Peel likes the band. So it must be good, right?
That's true.
The Scratch was a song. It was his first song that came out from their, I think I've written it down, Viva Zapata album, which came out in 1994. It's an interesting and very sad story, or the reason why they did that album, because they merged, they kind of got together early 90s, and then they performed with this other like punk band from Seattle called the Gits. I don't know if you've heard of it, but the lead singer is a female, and her name is Mia Zapata. 7 Year Bitch did their first gig, and they performed with the Gits as a support act. And then not long after they performed, their guitar player was murdered on the way home when she was in the guitar player of 7 Year Bitch was murdered when she was walking on the way home. I think her name is Stephanie Sargent. And so that was obviously quite shocking. And then 2 years later, the lead singer of the Gits was also murdered on the way home going, from a bar. And that's, and for them, it was just like, it's, shocking really. I mean, it is horrible. So they basically decided to kind of dedicate the second album to both of their, guitar player as well as the lead singer.
Yeah. It's a sad story, isn't it? And you picked a track from the album. This is 7 Year Bitch and the Scratch from Viva Zapata.
I want it! Give it to me! I love it! Don't give it to her! You gotta give it to me! I want it! I saw it first, I want it once! I love it! Give it to me! I love it! I love it! Give it to me! So maybe I didn't see it.
And next up, you've picked a, again, this is something that you obviously, when you're over in Indonesia, it's a dance track, and not my genre at all, to be honest. So I'm not even sure if this is Usura or Usura. So tell us about this track.
Yeah, it's funny because this is like, it just shows you the kind of path I went. So I was into like grunge, and then I went to Bali in 1994. I was 15, and then I was exposed to like dance music for the first time because I started going out. I started going out when I was 14, but like getting drunk with friends in Indonesia, there's no rules. You know, you can still drink. You can drink at the age of 13, 12, doesn't matter, or smoke. No one really cares as long as you pay entry to go to the, you know, the club or the, you know, the disco, whatever. So I started going out at 14, but then at 15, I was in Bali, and I started going clubbing, and I was like listening to these dance music, and I was like, wow, what is this? And I just remember Usura, I say Usura, but I could be wrong, was like, the DJ played that a lot, and I was like, this is mind blowing. You know, in my kind of 15-year-old brain. But yeah, I love that.
So this is Usura and Open Your Mind. Were there many bands going to Indonesia, and did you get to see anybody over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other, one most memorable gig I went to when I was a teenager was the Jakarta Alternative Festival, and that was in January 1984. And that was, so the headline, there was 3 international bands and then 3 local bands. So the 3 international bands was Sonic Youth, Foo Fighters, and Beastie Boys. I mean, 3 amazing, like full on, at that time, the 90s, was like, it was insane. My friend actually told me yesterday that we paid like $8 or something equivalent in that time to go and see them. And then that was insane. It was in a car park in South Jakarta, and it was a day concert. And it was the first time that we were just all out because it was a day concert without, you know, our parents. And I remember it was crazy because there was all these people who are into, like, I don't know, these punks, these Indonesian punks just showed up. And then I remember this poor Indonesian artist who was performing before Foo Fighters. His name was Nugi. And he was a pretty good musician. I was like, well, he's good. But then the people were getting really angry. I don't know why, but they were like throwing bottles of piss and nails. And I was like, we need to get out of here. And like, they're like, because we were right in front, but waiting for Foo Fighters to play. And we're like, okay, we need to leave for a bit and then come back when Foo Fighters came on, because it got a bit hairy. And then when Foo Fighters came on, because it was their first, they performed their first studio album, everyone just went nuts. I mean, we had to move back again because the mosh pit was insane. And then Beastie Boys, Sonic Youth was great, but when Beastie Boys came and they sang Sabotage, it blew. I mean, it was insane because they released that song in like later that month, the Beastie Boys. And so it was the first time everyone heard it in Indonesia, and we just went crazy. It was such an amazing moment.
Back
Oh, it's a great song. It's a good choice because it sort of it's got a real punky element to it, isn't it? Because I mean, obviously, when they started, they were a punk band initially.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I think this for me, it's one of my favourite tracks as well because it's sort of it captures the rap side and also it's got that great punk energy as well, hasn't it? And a fantastic video as well. Well worth checking out.
Oh, I know. I love the video. It's great, isn't it? No, it was such a killer song. I just blew my mind.
So tell us about if you've got like a particular, it's difficult, but in your DJ bag or your case or whatever you call them, what's your most prized single? What's one of your most prized records that you have in your collection?
That would be Sandy Edmonds, the New Zealand singer, with "Come See Me." It's a record I bought from the late Keith Marples, Cosmic Keith, as he's popularly known amongst our friends. And it's a very dear record for me because obviously it's I've bought only a few records from Keith, and this is a special one because I remember him telling me about it, and he was like, "Oh, he's always been very supportive of me and with DJing." And I was quite close with him just before he passed this year. We've been friends for a while, but I sort of grew close to him because I was worried about him, and we were hanging out a lot and we were drinking, having a laugh. And he used to say, "Oh, I've got this record that I think you'd really like." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's my want list, but I can't afford it." But he's like, "Look, you can just pay me when you can." So I remember because it's quite an expensive record. So I paid him like in installments. And that's why it's a special record. It not only is the most expensive record I own, but because it has that memory of Keith and I talking about various things and him recommending it to me. So yeah, and it's a great, great garage record.
Well, it is a fantastic record, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, it's so sad about Keith. He was a lovely guy. We used to see him out at gigs and clubs all the time. He was, like I said, he was always supportive. He always asked me out about the blog and everything. And I always proudly wear his great Vampires T-shirt that I got from his wonderful Planet Bop store he was doing. And he was a lovely guy. We'd always talk about football and music. And so it's nice of you to mention Keith. And let's play Sandy Edmonds and Come See Me. And this is for Keith. So we found out a little bit about you growing up and your early influences as a music fan. So what inspired you to actually make that step into performing or becoming a DJ? What was there? Was there something that sort of sparked you off?
Well, it's funny because I've always been a massive I go to loads of gigs and I go to loads of clubs, 60s clubs. I was into swing dancing at one point. So but I always went to gigs. So I was like, oh, and I've always appreciated loads of DJs playing really interesting, eclectic music. I don't know. What got me to DJing was my ex, actually, Robert, from Munich, who organizes the Munich Garage Fest. And I remember it was Christmas, and he was like, he's always been pushing me to DJ, and I was like, no, I'm more of a dancer. You know, I really appreciate the music. And then he was like, come and DJ with me, and it'll be love. We'll just get pissed together. And it was fun. And then he sort of like, oh, this is actually not that hard. Okay. And then that's how I started really in Munich. And then I got the bug essentially, and I just started buying records. And then the dive bar that we live around the corner from said, they were like, oh, we should DJ for us because we really enjoy the music that you were playing. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then that just happened. And then now it's like the bug of collecting records. It's an expensive thing to do, but there you go.
Well, I mean, you've picked a track here that I guess is one of your favourites from DJing, Irvina and the Stylers, who I understand is from your neck of the woods.
That's right. Thank you. You remembered. So Irvina is an artist from Surabaya in Java. And it's a song that I picked. It's called Get Ready. And it's a cover song. And she sings it with a band called the Stylers, which is a Singaporean band. And it's very much inspired, the Stylers, by The Shadows. But the story behind this is the particular person, which I have mentioned earlier in the show, that inspired me to go and do my own night is DJ Honey. And I actually bought this record from DJ Honey. And that's the thing, like, we're talking about influences and how we find music and find other DJs. It's like because when you start talking and discussing the love of music, you're just like, oh, you should check this out, you should check her out, you should check this music. And I remember Honey was like, I've got this record and I think you'd like her because it's kind of similar, the style that you like. So, it's one of my favorite records, my favorite 45s at the moment.
Well, it's a great cover version. So let's hear it. Let's see Irvina and the Stylers and Get Ready.
I never met a man who makes me feel the way that you do. You're alright. Whenever I'm asked who make my dreams real, I say that you do. You're out of sight. So free, I look down, baby, 'cause here I come. And I'm bringing you love that's true. So get ready, get ready. I gotta try to make a love to you. So get ready. Gonna play hide and seek with love. Let me remind you, you're alright. I love and you're gonna miss the time it takes to find you. You're out of sight. So feel a lady, I feel a lady. I look down, baby, 'cause here I come. And I'm letting you love that's true. So get ready, get ready. I got a time to make a love to you. So get ready.
Give us another one of your songs from your record case.
The Gypsies, It's a Woman's World. I like that record because it's a song that I like to play in the Wanita nights, because obviously the whole concept of Wanita is about being women, female DJs, supporting female DJs in the as well as female artists. So I thought it was a very apt song.
Well, let's hear the Gypsies and It's a Woman's World. Yeah, it's a great track, and they would become the Flirtations later on. You know, the classic Northern Soul track, "Nothing But Heartache." But that was their first lineup, I suppose you could say, the Gypsies. You know, I mean, we've talked about your sort of eclectic taste in music, and so how do you discover your records? Are you just sort of, I said, you're being passed them on by friends, other DJs, and I mean, do you sort of hunt records down online, or do you go and how do you sort of get your record collection built up?
Oh gosh, it comes from everywhere. So I think one of my favorite things to do is going to like a dusty record shop, or like, you know, one particular memory that I love is how I discovered the Rita Chow Hanky Panky song that you'll play in a bit. But there's like a mall in Jakarta. It's a basement, and in the basement there's all these like record sellers. But it's not, and it's all kind of like hodgepodge kind of place, and everyone's smoking. And I just remember I would go there on my own, and it's like it's unusual for them to see a woman asking for records, because it's, you know, generally male DJs go and do that. So for they're like, oh, you want, and then I always say, do you have any 45s? Or because in Indonesia it's called piring hitam, which literally means black plate. So they piring hitam kecil, which means small black plate. And they're like, really? Why would you want that? And I'm like, oh, I'm just interested. So usually it's a guy with a plastic, and he's like, okay, let me find it. And then he'd come in it was in a plastic bag. And this is kind of sad, because they don't really care about 45s as much as they care about the LPs. And it would be in this black plastic bag, and I literally would take it out of the bag, and it would be just covered in dust and muck. And I'm thinking, ooh, treasure, you know, there might be something there. And then, and that's how I discovered the Rita Chow record, the 45. And some, you know, obviously it's a hit and miss with these kind of things. Sometimes you find, and it's too, you know, old, or it's screwed up, so you can't really, it's not a good quality at all, so you can't play it. And then another way of me to find records is Mixcloud again. I follow record labels, I follow DJs. One record label that I particularly love is Radio Martico, which is a collective and also a label based in Ghent in Belgium. I don't know if you've heard of it. They're really good. They're really, really good. And I started listening to them like 6 years ago, and I was just really loved their collection of like Turkish, Greek, African, just like Middle Eastern, and also like Far East Asia. So it's just like, I was just like, oh wow, there's so much amazing music from, you know, and it's all around the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
That's great. And you picked an interesting track that was re-released on that label by the Latin, called Habibi Twist. And it's a very Arabic sounding record, but they're actually an Italian band, I think, from
I know.
1963, and it's a bizarre track, but a good couple of choices. So this sums up your eclectic taste. You've got Rita Chow, who was from Singapore, I think, right, initially, and the Latins from Italy. So let's have a little medley of those two tracks.
My baby does the hanky panky.
Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi ya salam, ya salam. Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi ya salam, ya salam. Per te son venuto da Baghdad, con te il twist voglio ballare, sono note che ho portato dall'Oriente. Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi twist, amore twist, Habibi ya salam, ya salam, ya salam.
Oh, that was fantastic. So we heard Rita Chow and the classic Hanky Panky, 1967 single, followed by the Latins and the Habibi Twist, which is a great track. I love that. So we know you've sort of travelled overseas to see bands play as a fan. And how about DJing? Have you used your contacts to DJ in other countries? Any way you've travelled to DJ?
So obviously I DJed at Munich, and I've DJed at the Munich Garage Fest as well. That was good fun. I've also DJed not weirdly, but it was a dream come true. Like a massive tick on my bucket list was to DJ in Jawa, where, my name is Java Jones. And the reason why I've chosen Java Jones is because I want to represent where I come from. I'm half English, half Indonesian. But for me to actually be invited to DJ in Java was like a dream come true. Mm. And I was invited by this really lovely chap named Iqbal, and he runs Wonder Soul. It's also a mod kind of clothing brand, but he also runs the Jakarta soul scene with his friends, Farhan and a few other people. And we were just chatting because I was so happy to discover this like soul scene in Jakarta, and I've been looking for it for so long. And that's the thing with Indonesians, they don't really use Facebook. They're all on Instagram and WhatsApp. That's how they communicate. So for years I was trying to find that, like, there must be a soul scene in Jakarta or in Indonesia, but they were all hiding in Instagram, and there's hundreds of them. And so when he asked me, he's like, "Oh, we're doing this Wonder Soul weekender, and would you like to DJ?" And I happened to go to Indonesia then to see my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that was on the beach, and we were DJing, and that was also the time that I met DJ Honey for the first time.
Okay.
And she was also DJing at that weekender. Yeah. So yeah.
And is she based in Singapore, DJ Honey? Where's she?
That's right.
Yes,
she's based in Singapore, but she's Australian English. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds idyllic. It must have been a great experience for you. And any other countries that you've gone down particularly well? I mean, any places you play where you got a sort of good following or a particularly receptive audience?
So Munich, obviously, because I started DJing there, and I was DJ at the Munich Garage Fest. I picked the Cramps because it's a lot of a lot of my friends in Munich love the Cramps. That's like the god of, garage and 60s music. And so I picked this particular Cramp song because whenever we put it on, my ex or my friend, I don't actually have the 45. I'd love to. It's quite expensive, and everyone just goes nuts. Anytime we play the Cramps, everyone just goes nuts. So that particular song, Human Fly, it's a massive favorite. So it just always reminds me of my friends in Munich. Every time I hear it.
But you can't go wrong with the Cramps. So let's hear the Cramps and their debut single from 1978. This is Human Fly.
When I'm a human fly, I say brother, and it's just because I'm a human fly, and I don't know why. I got 96 tears and 96 eyes. I got a garbage brain that's driving me insane, and I don't like the ride, so push that mess to the side. And baby, I won't care, cause baby, I don't scare, cause I'm a reborn maggot using gym warfare. Rock. I'm a human fly, I still feel why I say buzz, and it's just because I'm an unzipped fly, and I don't know why, but I say rock tonight, and I say rock it right, and I say, but I don't know why. Just don't know why.
Any other sort of memorable gigs that you've played as a DJ?
I've only been DJing in Indonesia and Munich and London, but I also go dance, which is a bit of fun thing to do with, because I get to I love dancing, and I was invited to go dance at Vespa Twist last year, which is in Solothurn in Switzerland. And I remember Le Grigri and Les Kitchenettes actually were playing, and I was go dancing on stage with them. So that was like, I love Le Grigri. I think they're a brilliant band. And obviously Les Kitchenettes as well. But to be able to dance on stage when they were playing was just like, it was mind-blowing. It was great. It was good fun. And I also DJ'd for Wild Evil and the Staggers, which is, again, another band that I've always enjoyed because they're really fun on stage. So it was really nice to be able to share the night with them. I was DJing in the club when they were performing.
So let's hear a couple of tracks here. So we've got Le Grigri and Gone by Dawn from their self-titled album, followed by the Incredible Staggers and Go Go Gorilla.
More people, more suffer.
Oh, so it must have been fun dancing on stage with Les Kitchenettes. They're one of my favourite bands. In fact, I put on their first UK show.
Oh, really?
Back at one of my Retro Man blog nights at the Half Moon, and they went down so well. In fact, I've done them twice at the Half Moon Putney because they're such a fantastic live band, and
They're really lovely too. All of them, super
great
nice people.
I've also seen pictures of you dancing on stage with Amel and the Sniffers. Is this a professional capacity, or is it just?
Oh my God, I love that band. She's such an amazing front woman, don't you think? She's so fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That was a crazy random thing to do because I've always wanted to stage dive, but I'm scared of breaking my neck. And I don't know what got over me that night because I've seen them 3-4 times now. I love them. That's one of my favorite band. I'm Not a Loser is such a fucking great song.
I'm not a fan of tradition. I just wanna get pissed here in my kitchen. I'm not a loser. No, I'm not a loser. She's not a loser. People look at me like I'm a hooker, but I just wanna be a venue booker. I'm not a loser. No, I'm not a loser. She's not a loser. All these bad boys wanna spank me. Guess it's just their way to thank me. They all want the hanky panky. They all want the hanky panky. All these bad boys wanna spank me. Guess it's just their way to thank me. They all want the hanky panky. I'm dead, I'm blind, but I'm alright. I'm poor, I'm broke, but I'm just fine. I'm dead, I'm blind, but I'm alright. I'm poor, I'm broke, but I'm just fine. I fell asleep down there in the gutter, but it's no worries, it's as smooth as butter. I'm not a loser. No, I'm not a loser. She's not a loser. My roommates think that I am a cunt, but I pay the rent on time every month. I'm not a loser. No, I'm not a loser. She's not a loser. I just had the best coffee. I got no worries. It's sunny outside and I'm in a singlet. It's December. It's only getting hot now. That's alright, Sister Hilda. I'm dead. I'm blind, but I'm alright. I'm poor. I'm broke, but I'm just fine. All these bad boys wanna spank me. Guess it's just their way to thank me. They all want the hanky panky. They all want the hanky panky. All these bad boys wanna spank me. Guess it's just their way to thank me. They all want the hanky panky. I'm dead. I'm blind, but I'm alright. I'm poor. I'm broke, but I'm just fine. I'm dead. I'm blind, but I'm alright. I'm poor. I'm broke, but I'm just fine.
I wasn't even that drunk. And then I remember her, because she's always, that's why I love her, because she said, all right, I just want all the girls right in front. And that never happens at a gig. So she's always conscious. She wants the women to go and, be at the front, because it's always men generally. So I was like, right, I'm doing this. And then before you know it, there was all these girls jumping off the stage. And I was like, I'm going to try this. And then I didn't even know what I was thinking. I just went on stage and then just stage dive. And it was the most amazing feeling ever. So yeah, I don't know if I would be game enough to do it again, but yeah, that was that was crazy and fun.
So I think I was going to sort of ask. I generally ask people how they're getting on with the lockdown, and mainly with bands, and it's finding it more difficult because obviously there's no touring and getting together to rehearse. But I suppose as being a DJ, it makes it a little bit easier because I know you've been busy. You've been doing live streams and obviously a radio show and on Mixcloud. And I do like you did some live shows on Twitch when you had some fantastic special effects where you had the little Action Men the dance troupe, not the actual doll Action Men. You had them little dancing on your turntable. That was great fun, and did you enjoy doing the live streams?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to give credit to my boyfriend Damon. He is the instigator for that, because I feel, and this is why I've only started DJing. I haven't been DJing for a long time, and I feel quite uncomfortable being live, on stage or being filmed and stuff, because I'm more of a, like, I just love dancing. I'm more like the background person. So he was like, you should do a live stream thing, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like, no, but it'll be good to promote Wanita, and that's the thing. I want to promote Wanita because that, for me, that's the most important thing to do. So he is in IT, and he got, it was like a project for him, and then it was his idea to do go-go dancing, because he did one as a joke, and I loved it so much. And then he's like, why don't we just do it, just put like we can dance on top of the turntable. So I said, I can ask some of my male friends, because usually when you go to gigs it's always the female go-go dancer. So it's like, why don't, because Wanita is all about empowering women, I'm going to get my male friends to go and do some go-go dancing. I don't think they do it in real life, though. So it's all a bit of fun. But, yeah.
Well, they would do, wouldn't they? I mean, like Steve Todd and the Action Men, they...
I love the Action Men,
no excuse for them not to get on stage and dance, and...
That would be a dream come true, actually. If I run Wanita after the pandemic ends and run Wanita night, I would love to have them perform and do their little routine on stage.
So let's sort of pick a couple of tracks here that you've chosen. One of them, Le Grand Melon, which when I saw it at first, I thought, Le Grand Melon, is it like the French yeah band, the big melon or something? But this is Le Grand Melon, who is actually an American singer. And you've chosen a great track. This is a great version. And tell us about this one, a great cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cover. It's a great cover indeed. And I actually heard it from another DJ who played it at her set, and I was like, I love this. I need to get a copy of this record. And I keep playing it because it's again one of my favorite 45s. So I always play this when I do the live stream, Wanita live stream, because it always reminds me of my of Damon, my boyfriend, dancing on the turntables.
Because I love you so. Turn your lamp down low. Turn your lamp down low. Oh, turn your lamp down low, 'cause I love you so. Baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't go.
And then the other song I picked is a French cover by Elaine. I'm not even going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's a Nancy Sinatra, These Boots Are Made From Walking cover. And I'm a massive fan of cover songs, especially from the 60s. And this is a particularly excellent cover of the Nancy Sinatra song.
Yeah, it's a great version, isn't it? And she did this apparently. She's American, and actually went over to Paris. I think her dad was big a big
That's right.
publishing,
Yeah.
music industry bigwig, and obviously helped her on her way there over in Paris. And she's recorded this, and apparently she's done a version in English, version in German,
German.
Italian,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
this great version of These Boots Are Made for Walking in French, and here it is.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to say it either. You can pick
You can imagine the pronunciation. I would leave the French people to say it.
Quand tu me dis que tu n'as pas d'autre fille, je sais parfaitement que tu mens. Tout le monde sait que tu me trompes souvent. Alors méfie-toi, je t'avertis maintenant. Ces bottes sont faites pour marcher et tu vas le regretter. Car je mettrai ces bottes un jour ou l'autre pour te quitter. Yeah. Tu mens tellement que c'est plus fort que toi. Et tu ne sais jamais où est la vérité. Comme tous les enfants, tu crois être un homme. Mais toi, dans ma vie, tu ne m'as rien donné. Ces bottes sont faites pour marcher et tu vas le regretter. Car je mettrai ces bottes un jour ou l'autre pour te quitter.
Well, that's been great fun chatting, DJ Jawa Jones. Thank you very much indeed. It's been great to trawl through your record collection and your musical memories. I say thanks for listening, everybody. You can, what I'll do, I'll put a feature on the blog when I publish the podcast with all the links to all the relevant current bands that are out there, and obviously all of DJ Jawa's Wanita music site and the Mono Loco mixtape site as well on Mixcloud. We'll put all the links up there, and where you can subscribe and keep up to date on all of what she's been doing. And it's been fascinating chatting to you. Thanks very much indeed. And to play us out, this is a tough one, but I asked you to pick one song that will, I suppose, sum you up as a DJ. Sum up the essence of DJ Jawa Jones.
So I picked Nothing to Lose by Girls' School, which is the longest running all-female band from the UK. And I love the lyrics of this song because it talks about like nothing, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it's just inspiring for me because don't be afraid really to just go for it. And that's why I'm by no means perfect. No one is really, but like just have fun. And that's the whole point about music and about enjoying music, playing music, dancing to music. It's just have fun. And if you want to go and be a DJ or run a night, just go for it. That's what I'm saying. So nothing to lose.
Fantastic sentiment and a fantastic track to end on. And thanks very much again, and all the best.
Thank you, Steve.